Malta's location has historically given it great strategic importance as a naval base and a succession of powers including the Phoenicians, the Carthaginians, the Romans, Arabs, Normans, Sicilians, Spanish, Knights of St. John's, the Knights of Malta, French and British have ruled the islands. More recently, Malta became a British colony in 1815 and served as the headquarters of the British fleet in the Mediterranean, and it also survived a 2-year siege during the Second World War when Germany attempted to take control of the strategically important islands. The current flag of Malta, the nation, has the representation of the George Cross. Now, this cross was awarded to Malta by George VI of the United Kingdom, who was the British monarch in 1942, and it was given to the people of Malta so as to, in the words of the king, so as to bear witness to the heroism and devotion of its people during the Great Siege that I mentioned earlier. Currently, and unfortunately, the island nation of Malta is in the news as it's caught between the path of migrants from the Middle East and Africa that are attempting to reach Europe via the Mediterranean. Now, many of these people are being brought to Europe by NGOs that hover on the coast of Libya and then ferry these migrants to the welfare states in Europe. And these NGOs and the boats that ferry these migrants are accused of being in league with human traffickers. And for this reason, many of the NGO boats are denied refueling permits as well as denied landing for their human cargo on the island of Malta. All of that having been said, Malta itself, the country, is the focus of this video. And I've been asked many times by people that, for whatever reason, are tired of living in their own countries. And they're asking me about countries or places that might be suitable to relocate. Thus, I've decided to make a series of videos on places that I would suggest that one could live and live in well as an expat. Malta here is the first, and I will tell you why in this video and also give you a look at this really small but very cool country. Hi everyone, just to let you know, I have some old favorites as well as new t-shirt designs on sale right now. Link to find them is in the description, and would like to thank you in advance as it really does help the channel, as for years now content like this has been put into an algorithmic black hole as well as being demonetized. So thanks again, as well as I'm pretty sure you'll find something you will like. First off, Malta is old, very old. It has some of the oldest freestanding structures in the world, and it's also an archipelago nation with 2 main islands that are inhabited. Now, starting off the video, I'm in Slima here, which is a residential town as well as a tourist destination, and I'm going to be taking the harbor taxi over to Valletta, which is the capital of the island chain. So Valletta is pretty cool, almost like an open-air museum. Now, while it did sustain a lot of damage during the Second World War, it was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site sometime back in the 1980s. The city itself is built on a grid, and it's said that the grid was chosen to create wind tunnels and allow sea breeze through the city during the arduous and hot summer months. Valletta was built after the Great Siege of 1565, and that's when the Islamic forces of the Ottoman Empire tried to invade and conquer the island of Malta, and at the time it was held by the Knights Hospitaller. The Knights, with approximately 2,000 foot soldiers along with 400 Maltese men, women, and children, withstood the siege and repelled the invaders. Now, this victory became one of the most celebrated events in 16th century Europe. Even Voltaire said that nothing is better known than the Siege of Malta. So Valletta, after that time, was built as a city for gentlemen, by gentlemen, in that it was built as a fortress to defend Christendom from the forces of Islam, as well as a cultural masterpiece of European civilization. And to that end, even the Pope of the time, Pius IV, sent his foremost engineer to help build Valletta. The city itself is quite hilly, but it's a joy to walk through, and it's probably one of the most beautiful cities in the world and one that you will ever see. Malta has a very long history as well as a very long Christian history, and like Rome itself, it's an archdiocese that is claimed to be an apostolic see because Paul the Apostle himself, the apostle of Jesus Christ, was shipwrecked, according to Acts, the 5th book of the New Testament, on Melita, which is now widely taken to be Malta itself.
Sie hatten einen schönen Tag bei uns an Bord und hoffen, Sie mal wieder zu sehen auf einer.
The two main islands are Malta and Gozo, and there's a little island between them that has only 3 residents called Camino, like the planet in the movie Star Wars: Attack of the Clones. The island has been used for many things, including farming during Roman times, as a place of exile during the Middle Ages for errant knights, but now it's mostly visited for this place, the Blue Lagoon. Its cayenne waters are among the most beautiful I've ever seen, and I've been to South Asia all throughout the Mediterranean. I've been to the Caribbean, I've been to Australia, but these waters are among the most beautiful I've ever seen. And this place, the Blue Lagoon, has been used in many films, including the 2004 film Troy. You need a boat to get here, but yes, it's worth it. I enjoyed the place a lot, and I really felt bad for this girl in particular, as she could only look on while others played and enjoyed themselves, and she could do nothing but watch. The second island in Malta is Gozo, which is much more rural in character, and it was also home up till March 2017 for this thing, the Azure Window, which was a natural arch that collapsed in stormy weather. It's quite sad. It's now totally gone. Gozo Island's largest settlement is Victoria, this place, which is also known as Rabat among many of the native Maltese. It's also a very beautiful little town. Now, with all of that, you have urban, you have beach, you have rural, all nestled in a beautiful Mediterranean archipelago. What's not to like? So before you go for more than a holiday, let's take a look at the pros and cons of this place. So comparatively, Malta is a cheap place to live in, and you've got to stress the word comparatively. It also has a nice climate. They also, on a very large plus, speak English as one of their national languages, so you don't have to actually learn any foreign languages to live there. The people seem cool, and there's also always new people coming through as it's a popular tourist destination. Now, maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I guess that depends on the person. Also, on the very plus side, it's a low-tax country. On the downside, it is a small island and there is the very real potential for island or rock fever. That, however, can be assuaged with a short flight to Italy, however. It's also, unfortunately, in the path of the massive migration of people coming from Africa and the Middle East on their way to Europe. Now, while the situation is pretty much contained as the island is relatively not wealthy currently, there is no guarantee that this will always be the case and that the tranquility of Malta is to last forever. So, all of that having been said, citizens from the EU can move there without much fuss or bother. People from outside the EU can move there on several different kinds of visas, which are actually not that hard to obtain, and I will leave information about those in links that you can find in the description. All of that, again, having been said, I really liked Malta, and I do recommend it to anyone for short stays, and insofar as migration, I would give the island nation a 3.5 star rating out of 5 as a new place to relocate and set up shop based on costs and the general rigmarole of getting visas, and that one would need to go through to get them. So that's it. That's the first video in this new series of videos that I'm going to be making on countries as far afield as Thailand, Indonesia, India, Spain, the UK, Canada. Well, maybe not Canada. So keep your eyes on this space. I will be releasing a new video every week, or even more, actually, from places, as I said, all around the world. Please like and share this video, as well as subscribe if you want to see more material like this. I will see you in this space again soon. Thanks very much.